And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to Session 4 of Within the Ring of Fire, City of the Future. It's been several chains since we last met, and much has happened in that time. Nay and Hunrei have been making good on their trade to take Hunrei into the Dreamlands, although it has not been as smooth as might have been initially suspected. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Adrian, to describe the process of how you have brought this other individual, this mortal person of the Fleshlands, across the Veil.
Okay, so from where we left off last time, Nay promised Hunrei to bring him into the Dreamlands after he reported that he just closes his eyes, blackness, and then a new day begins, which it seems crazy to myself. So the first couple of nights in this attempt, Nay lay sort of lying on the large Sarusha's waist, sort of curled up in a cocoon as he sleeps, entering the Dreamlands, this purple, black, starry sort of field of flowing wheat, but instead of at the end having your wheat grain, imagine just like a bubble with like the people and with all these sort of dreamers in there, and Nay just walking through this field until she finally finds Hunrei. And I can see him at the end of this stalk in this bubble. There's just the 7-foot scaly Sarush is just sort of like suspended like an astronaut in zero gravity, just like floating around like this, and his eyes are closed. And I sort of put my small, tiny hand on the stalk and close my eyes and project myself into his dream, and then I look around and there's nothing. It's like the void, complete blackness, and trying to wake Hunrei, but his mind is closed. I try and bring him into the Dreamlands, but it's beyond me. I don't understand why his mind is almost like it's dead in this place, or not dead. That's wrong. Like it's unresponsive. Like I can sometimes pick up emotions and thoughts from him. A lot of them quite angry in nature, as I sense some ill feelings towards old friend Landul, concerning a debt that needs paying, and trying to bring him into the Dreamlands. He's unable to project with me, and each morning I'm sort of a little bit dumbfounded as I do not understand why this is happening. And then I guess on like the third, or imagine sort of a montage on maybe the third or the fourth attempt, maybe even a whole cycle later, and not cycle chain later, I have the idea maybe he's never seen the beauty of Rulaskod. Maybe I have to ask permission to bring him into the Dreamlands. So on this last attempt, this successful attempt, Nay brings Hunrei into sleep again, and once again she sing to him. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and we are mind, and evermore we take the tool of thought in shaping what we will, bring forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. We seek in secret, and it comes to pass. Our world is but our looking glass. And once again, I'm curl up into this cocoon, and finding Hunrei entering the stalk and pulling myself once again. I'd grab him and we begin to float along this base level of the Dreamlands, this starry black field. And in the distance, I look towards this very, very small circle of light. Not white light, but a red, blue, green, purple light that sort of emanates from within. And as we get closer, you can see almost like a wind blowing blossoms, like blossoms blowing through the wind that are glowing, like sort of like fireflies, sort of emanating from it. And as we approach, Hunrei's mind begins to awaken ever so slightly, and when we get to the base, and it's just like a long sort of tube that sort of appears to end nowhere, but inside these sort of what look like fireflies, like these glowing white fireflies, are just sort of appearing into existence and then blowing out the tube and then through us. And when they do pass through one, it is a feeling of great joy and exhilaration. Nay knows that these are butterfly souls. It's what her mother taught her. These are the new butterflies being born into the world. And sensing that Hunrei's mind is awakening at this close point, Nay, not speaking any words with her mouth, but projecting these with her mind, attempts to contact Hunrei. Hunrei friend, are you there?
And as you speak out, it's like you suddenly feel some form of gravity pull beneath you, like there are images within my mind that draws you into another vista, another picture, and almost like you're now, from my perspective, looking up, a few butterflies above me in the moonlight. You see big trees covered with moss and vines and some pale gassy light floating around this, not meadow, it's too wet, too many pools of water filled with trees and bushes. You hear the croaking and ribbing from frogs and other form of toad and reptiles, crickets and other bugs buzzing around you. And motion begins to pull at you again, and you see Hunrei rise. You are now at the foot level, looking very much from the frog's eye view upwards to the rising Surush, though not clad in his usual armor. You see what he's now naked, the brown-scaled Surush, 7 feet tall, walking, and it's almost like you're floating next to me. I don't seem to be hearing or responding to your calls towards me as you float at my ankle level in this swamp-like environment. In front of me, you see many more Serusias making camp, gathering into groups of 5, 13, 20, a lot of us here, ranging in coloration of brown to green to the odd reddish rust color and maybe some with blue tint. And you see great big lizard beasts, optalangs like you've seen before in Epiphnul, but then beasts far larger. Think of an optalang with an outstretched head far, far longer than it should be, longer than the tail, maybe 3 times as long as the tail, and 10 times the size of the actual optalang. 4 of these great beasts in front of a big ziggurat-like edifice. Tall this building is, reaching towards the 2 moons. These beasts have trampled a path through the swamp, crushed trees and pushed them aside, as well as this gigantic structure of old moss-covered stone, no decorations upon it at all, and 4 great big stone wheels attached to it. Great harnesses goes from this big temple towards these 4 great beasts of greenish blue scale and giant figures. As I look upon this big building in the moonlight. And again, I don't seem to be responding. I am in another form of dream. I am dreaming, but I am not in the dreamland, as you would know it.
So, realizing this, I turn to face this tube, or this opening, this gateway that is Rillick's God here. And with my mind, I project with great power and plead for this great dragoness to allow my friend to experience what I've experienced my whole life, and call out, "Mighty Rillis God, whose grace and beauty is something of a wonder to behold. I'll ask for safe passage for my friend here, Hunrei, into the dreamland. He has never experienced dream, which I think is a horrible, almost sad existence. He's never seen the beauty of opiate, and if he has, he never has spoken with that memory. Please, great Willis God, if only for a night, allow him to experience what I've experienced my whole life." Sort of like, I guess, bow my head in reverence, to the great Rillis God.
And with your supplication here in this place of power to that absolute dragon. The strange, otherworldly sky that shifts and changes hues and colors. Ripples out as if a drop of water on the surface of a body of water, a lake, soundlessly. The sky ripples and scintillates with the multifaceted colors of the rainbow that is one of this deity's symbols. You see the strange scintillating pattern reflected on the dream stalks and the ground and your hands and your body as well, purples, oranges, reds, greens, blues. And you feel, you don't hear a response, but you feel your mind and your body awash just a moment in sensations, new sensations of warm feelings and of eagerness, excitement, positive feelings of pleasure and of joy. It's almost as if for in this moment you can forget the loss that has driven you to this place so far from your home. Although the Dreamlands are also your home too, and it truly feels that way in this moment as your prayers are indeed heard as Hunrei makes the journey whole, intact, unlike your previous several attempts. This one is empowered and blessed by one of the masters of dreams in this realm of imagination.
So these firefly-like souls, these butterfly souls flow through us in exhilaration, and we move, almost floating down this tunnel before just sort of emerging into the world, the true dreamlands, what I call opiate. And at this moment, I with that connection to your mind, I experience and see what you said before, what you were describing before about under the twin moons, and then in the sort of like the trees and the rolling ziggurat, and I see all that in wonder. And you are now connected to my mind, in which you can see also forest and the trickling sounds of a slowly flowing stream. There are rocks and boulders by this stream, and a little makeshift dwelling where branches have been like sort of woven just between two trees, and just rags of cloth are on the ground to serve as a mattress. and there you can see the sleeping Dill sleeping by the river, by the stream of our home, or the home he made with my family in the forest. There are chirpings of birds and the smell of damp undergrowth. Noticing your mind come awake, I turn, and with my mind speaking to you, Hunray, Hunray, you are truly there. Isn't this wonderful? Embrace opiate.
And as you say, I am still partially in my own dream as I look upon the ziggurat, and then it's like my vision is cut in two, and on one side I see my dream, and on the other side I see your dream, and you, before I even speak, you can feel some form of distress in me. What? Visions. Visions assault me. Nay. Nay. What is this?
Calm yourself, Hunray. Trust these. You are seeing my dream as well as yours. Calm yourself. There is no danger to be found here.
You are in my mind.
And you are in my mind.
You can hear frightened noises from my mind. It's almost like I breathe heavily as I dream. And again, the vision continues split in my mind of your dream that you have projected in front of me and the dream that I have projected in front of you, with no idea of what's happening. And then my dream progresses, and it's as if we have almost teleported scene. You are now with me inside this giant temple. Vines and moss grow upon the walls in a corridor that leads downwards into some square, or no, it is dome-shaped, this room, for some reason. And you see a circle of stone in the center of the room, and on each stone you see a skull of some humanoid. It is not the same form of humanoid, it is varied, but they all share feline characteristics, except for some few that appear to be more human. Maybe some form of fae, maybe one ogre skull. In total, something about 25 different skulls upon 25 circular stones. And in this room, there are just exactly 25 Sirushi individuals. You are unable to see if they are male or female. You do not know the specifics of our races, and you can't see the difference between them, but there's one distinct Sirush in this room besides myself, and that is a completely blue-skinned one who leads the other 24 in some form of Thraxian chant. And it echoes in this chamber. 24 of us are upon our knees around this circle, except for that blue-skinned one who stands tall in front of this circle, closer to it than us other 24. And as we chant and chant and chant, we then switch language to only a few of us speak now, Hunray Sumelra included, and we have switched to Arimanian. And this ritual concludes by some movement in this stone and bone circle, as there's a shifting motion in the space. Some form of pierced hole appears in the air, like some made a prick in the reality of the world, and something comes through. It is very hard for your mind to grasp the dimensions of the creature or the thing or the phenomena that happens, but a circle of some form appears within this circle. It is colorless, but you can see it clearly, and for some reason it is like a circle that is another circle that orbits around itself, and they shift in ways than dimensions that your mind can't really fathom. Your senses of sight were not made to understand the directions and dimensions of this thing, and you begin to hear it respond to us in Arimanian. But it is a very faint sound, and you can barely hear it, but it has the melodic tones of the language of the Shadow King, and you can see all the other Serushis in this room except for the blue one, adorned in bone and piercings upon the nose. We are all surprised, except for the blue one. And it begins to sing in kind to this circular orb. And they have a conversation, it appears, in this song, but even this blue spirit talker, even its voice is below, beneath, utterly beneath the sheer chords that this being can produce by just existing in this hollow space. And you who know song so very well, there is something in this song you do not find appealing at all. It is hollow, it is haunting, it is terrifying, but it is something that lingers upon your mind. It is almost like this creature is singing to the blue one and ignoring you, as if the song can only be perfectly heard by the blue one, but still some resonance of it comes forth to you and to the other Serushis in this room, and you see Hunreisu Melra looking upon it in utter fascination, horror, and maybe love? You don't know. And you see this as your own dream unfolds for you, again, as if we both have splitted vision and observe each other's dream at the same time in real time.
Well, I am not, although it is extremely interesting and fascinates, and I sort of, and I'm very happy to share your dream. In no way am I overwhelmed or disturbed by this multi visions of your dream mind. For I am so used to the dreamlands, so used to walking here and being here and projecting and flowing through it, that this, I guess, skill, if you will, or natural, it comes so natural to me. So yeah, taking all that in, Hunrei, is this the demon? Is this the demon singing?
It is the song I seek. Yes, perfection sings.
Can you just sorry? Can you you said that I sort of like would repel from listening to this song. Is that right?
It is for some reason horrifying to your ears at the same time as it is hauntingly captivating.
Hmm.
But you
This
get the distinct feeling that it
this
is not intended for you.
yeah this song. This is the song you wish me to learn and sing to you.
Can you hear the chords, the notes, the tones?
I can hear them.
This is opiate. I can revisit and witness again.
If Rulis God allows it. I only asked. I only asked that you be allowed to visit and remember. And I also said, if only for a night. So it is on Rulis God's grace that you're able to be here. Do not offend her, and maybe she will allow you here once more.
Yes. You will teach me her tenets. I will take them down in my book, so that while I give praise to the King of Freedom, I will leave room for the dream.
Rulis God has no tenants. This is Nay's naivety coming through.
Right.
She has no tenants. She only wishes that you remember your dreams, and you think of the importance of what they mean.
I will remember.
And you can hear I am still very captivated. I'm very nervous and unsure of what actually is transpiring.
I will trade for this. Yes. Your trade to me for the Red One's flesh. It is complete. Yes. I will trade with you again for more of this.
Very well. You still have
Yes.
teach me this tongue, this language.
I will. This is trade. Yes, the bright one do not understand. It will never understand. This is how true trade is made. Yes, as Rin taught. This is trade. Yes.
Yes.
My leech will approve of this. My king will approve.
This is trade that I understand. Not coins and numbers. True worth. And I sort of like rub my sort of mind. True worth. Trading mind. Trading dream. These are things that I wish for. And with our flame tender's permission, I'm can I ask that this is sort of like the end of the scene as we sort of move back into a waking reality?
Yes. This shared dream experience continues until its natural endpoint is reached. And on the next morning, and many mornings thereafter, throughout the next couple of chains, you, Nei and Hunrei, continue your exchange of dream and of knowledge, hopes, and ideas. You are taught the basics of the language of Ahriman. Hunrei making some time during each day for you to learn one more word, one more phrase, one more idea, concept, another note, another tune that runs together, becoming chords, pieces of a great song which you have now experienced in the realm of dream. You understand, your mind can hold more strongly, more steadily, those haunting and hollow notes, those otherworldly intonations. And you also continue your learnings and studies of matters of magic and of the occult. You explore more of this this safe house and other establishments like it, hidden in various locations within and beneath Newport. Such immense knowledge you would not expect would be found here from the appearance of this city on the outside, from what you can see from the streets and boulevards and winding, turning alleyways. But you begin to realize far more truly what can be found, or what can be hidden if one tries hard enough. Time goes on, and you begin to learn the basic tenets of your new family, the Lodge of the Claw, of which by the end of the second chain you are informed by Vasun that you are true initiates in both spirit and in mind, for you've learned just the barest glimpses in your short time. But as we see that happen in montage style, Hunrei and Nei teaching each other language, sharing dream, poring over tomes, practicing the arts of writing and calligraphy. and other such tutelage, our scene shifts to Landul, who likewise in this time, in these past several chains, has not been idle. It has amassed in a very short time far more than his contact Sulve was ever able to acquire and accomplish. Days go by, and with each new day, you check off another name from the list given to you by the Califar Akala. And with each name you visit, with each face you match with that name, another deal made, another trade settled. Until you have constant activity going in and out of the trade house where your company is located. Where once it was almost somewhat sparse, inhabited and attended to only by Sulve, yourself, and a couple other employees. Your place of business now looks to be that, an actual place of business. A remarkable change to have happened so quickly and so easily. For each individual you spoke to seemed quite open and eager to treat and trade with you. And you have done quite well, by all appearances. And we see the camera zoom in over the landscape of the city through the bustling crowds of various species that travel through this new port onto you traveling back to your trade house after seeing to the latest shipment, the silken and embroidered cloths you promised the male siren several chains ago has arrived, and you saw to the successful trade of those goods for his. As you move through the bustling streets, you perhaps think to yourself how wonderful these past few chains have been, despite how things initially seemed to go. You think your thoughts to yourself, these roads, which seem so unfamiliar to you now, are a lot more easily traversable. You're slowly getting to know this place, or at least a part of it. But as you make your way up the paved streets, past the strange architecture that lines the roads. You see there's some commotion in the distance as you look upon your trade house across a wide intersection. You see 4 individuals dressed in brown attire, 2 in some kind of hardened leather, 2 others wearing a kind of large tunic or brown tabard atop their torsos. You can't make out who they are, if they're male, female.
Is it some sort of uniform or something that I would recognize? Or
In your time here, and given your desire to avoid their gaze, you could see quite off the bat that there are 4 individuals representing the enforcers, shouting and arguing quite heatedly with 2 individuals who are in your company's employ, other Freyin like yourself.
I'll continue towards this argument to see if I can overhear any of the details while I'm sort of heading that way.
Are you making yourself sort of known, or are you attempting to?
Yeah, no, I'm not hiding anything. I'm heading back.
You hear this argument between these two parties, and you could tell right off the bat they are still looking quite intently for the one responsible, or one of the individuals responsible for the death of one of their own, and having been told that this is a place of residence that houses whatever species it is that you are, a race that is not common in Newport, that they are quite ready to move in and to find someone who matches your description to mete out the justice that has been avoided for these past several chains. You also see another man, a male siren as well, as well as the individual you just came from, not the same person, attending to a large covered wagon that is being pulled by 2 Optalangs, who is in this moment sort of staying out of the conversation, but is certainly privy to its contents.
Well, judging that those the town guard, the city guard, seem to still want to arrest me. I will sort of try and I suppose it's probably, if I've already heard all of this, somebody would have noticed me already, I imagine. I'm not exactly very discreet. So I guess I'll just I'll try and sort of walk, like, not like, sneak past them or anything, but I'm not looking at them, like trying to like avoid them. But if they notice me,
Okay,
which
you're trying to like move nonchalantly past them, just not.
yeah, just sort
Okay.
of just stroll past them. But I have a feeling that they will spot me. I want to sort of move toward the sirens or his wagon. If that's sort of between me and the entrance, I
Yeah.
want to go on the other side of that to the guards, so they can't see me behind it. Sort of, a little bit of a slight
And you
break in the vision.
you move in that direction, hoping against hope to just avoid them and leaving your poor employees to the depredations of these enforcers. As you get close, you see the that there is one of these enforcers is a species that you have not yet seen, something unknown to you, even in this land of unknown, a creature that looks like an anthropomorphic, like a saber-toothed cat, that has been, rather than being a bipedal, an anthropomorphic saber-toothed cat with wicked fangs that come down and make the growling cries of this person all the more intimidating as they flash in the desert sun. But as you move past, you see they just catch their eyes upon you, and you see that cat man's eyes grow wide with some form of recognition, and it growls and begins to move towards you as just then this siren speaks up and calls to that man, that cat man, and calls out to it. Wait. I think things are getting somewhat out of hand here. I believe I may have a more agreeable solution to all of us here. And he takes the Catman to the side, such that if you want to continue on inward, you will not be accosted.
I'll wait there. I'll sort of.
But,
I see that he spotted me. Like, I'm not gonna try and sprint off.
Okay.
I'll sort of approach this conversation as well.
This business and those who run its operations have been vouched for by Mistress Akala. As you know, she does not allow undesirables to be part of her business ventures, and she ensures that she runs a clean ship, as you might say. He sort of looks knowingly at this enforcer that he is speaking to. Surely the reputation of the mistress is sufficient to lower the gaze of the enforcers from this place. After all, she is ever the humble and proactive supporter of your ventures. And he offers up a rather sizable pouch of what could only be coins and puts it into the hand of this. And these individuals are speaking Thuban, by the way, as before you got here, they would have realized that that is the only language your Freyne merchants and they speak, for they do not speak Dazazays, but most, but both of these individuals speak Thuban, and the siren is continuing likewise in Thuban. And with this bribe, that's exactly what it appears to your sensibilities anyway, having taken place strangely by someone who seems to be a complete stranger. They move aside without any violence upon you, but now that you are here, this siren man gives you a wide and knowing smile. You must be Landu.
Yes, pleasure. The pleasure is all mine, I'm sure.
Of course. I'm so happy I could assist in taking care of that nasty business. Or, I should say, don't thank me for it. Thank my mistress. I believe you have met already.
Indeed. I do seem to be owing her more and more these days.
Well, I am so pleased I could run into you personally. Shall we get started?
Certainly. Is this... I know who this guy is.
You don't know who this guy is, but he seems to know exactly who you are.
Alright. What? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Well, my name is not important. I work for... represent a Durzan, a prominent businessman as well, and a likewise friend of Mr. Zakala's. But if we can move off the street.
Certainly. I'll gesture him into a trading house, which is right there.
And he motions for his wagon to be taken in to the contents be brought in as you to move to wherever it is you decide to move to.
I assume that there's probably some rooms that are sort of designed for this kind of purpose. Like a couple of chairs and like a table, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe with some fruits or something.
He does not partake of the fruits.
Please take a seat. I'll sit as well.
Thank you. Well, I will get straight to it, for I was told to be punctual and be brief, so I will do so. And he takes out a sheet of paper. I am here for these goods in exchange for that which is I have brought within my wagon. Once
Uh-huh.
my cargo is unloaded, I shall take this and bring it back, and our business will be concluded. For now.
Okay. I'll have a look at his sheet of paper, see what it is that he's bringing, and what he wants, I suppose.
Oh, well, it doesn't say what he's brought. It just says what he's taking, and what he's
Okay.
taking is the vast majority of the goods that you have just purviewed from the your newfound contacts. The
Oh, yeah.
the dyed cloth, as well as the other goods that you have acquired from the people you have been told about by the Kalfar woman.
Uh-huh. And what are you exactly is in your wagon? It doesn't seem to be written on this piece of paper.
No, I understand it's all taken care of. You are a business agent of Mr. Sakala, I understand, so it is all part of her trade network, so I understand. I did not feel it was necessary. Durzan did not feel it was necessary, but oh, that's right. You will. He takes another piece of paper from his person. Here are the individuals who are the interested buyers for the cargo, and there is a list of other names with which to sell the goods, which are in the wagon. One kitsune to a Kalfar merchant in Leknero. One siren female to another. These are slaves or people who are being traded out, for what it seems. If you wish to, I'm sure you have a place to hold these.
I have. I'll probably have a folder of some kind. We definitely will in the trade house. If it's all right with you, I'd like to just quickly take a look at the contents of your wagon just to make sure that it's all there.
That is fine. That is fine.
Yeah, I want to see. I'll go have a look, see what he's got in his wagon.
So as you go into the cargo area, you see about a dozen individuals, most of them malnourished, some of them wounded. Not significantly so, like they're about to die. In chains, you see a couple of sirens, 2 humans, a Kalfar. You see another one of those cat men, surprisingly enough. as you've seen two of these things in only a couple of minutes' time.
Mm.
And you see an assortment of other species in here. You also see one individual who bears a striking similarity to Ney, another 11-inch tall humanoid, male, not female as Ney is. All of them looking dejected and resigned to whatever situation they are in, as they are booted out of this wagon. Your recently gained goods are loaded into the Siren's wagon.
Mm. This, yeah, I'm not, as I'm sure most Freyans aren't very big fans of slavery, but I can't really. I know what'll happen if I say no. I'll get Akala will just basically let the
Who knows?
enforcers have come and just take me away, which isn't what I want. Did you say that the bit of paper he had sort of told me like that all these slaves already have like buyers somewhere?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what this whole thing. This whole thing seems to have been already taken care of, and you are just being used as a stopping station or a middleman to be used as part of an already existing larger transaction or series of transactions, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really think I'm in much of a position here to stop this without ruining everything. So I'll go back to the siren in the room. Coming, I'm much much less agreeable now. I'm sort of like being very very curt with him, not being quite so pleasant anymore.
Where are you going to hold the slaves?
Well, they're in chains at the moment, aren't they? So
Yes, but they can still run if they are so bold.
we'll chain them to
Though
something,
that
I'm
one
sure.
probably will not get very far. Motions the tiny sprite with its tiny.
Well, when is someone going to come pick these people up? I'm asking the siren this question.
Well, I thought you had all the details taken care of. There will be some buyers, but of course, those that are going to Leknero, those that are going to it will have to be delivered there. Two of these number are being taken by the Church of He Who Has Many Names and are bound for Atrum and Nurga. But you can take them to the temple of the enforcers. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll be treated fairly now. All is forgiven, I think, as you might say.
I'm afraid that this is actually quite a surprise. I wasn't expecting any deliveries, especially of this sort.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not sure I can sign off on it as it is so unexpected.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I was under the impression that you are in Mistress Akala's debt and are not in a position to refuse.
Yes.
I could get my money back from the enforcers. I could bring them back here.
I'm sure that you could. Alright. Well, yeah, I don't really have any any way to stop this. So,
Excellent. Well,
uh,
in that case, I will be on my way. Keep up the good work. I will
yes.
give Akala your regards, if she doesn't wish to speak with you beforehand. And I will tell Durzan how quickly this all was taken care of. He'll be quite pleased with the bounty you've acquired.
I'm sure that he will.
Well done.
Well,
He gives you like, well done, and sort of like slaps you on the arm there, as if he was not aware of exactly what's going on here.
right. Well, with that, I'm going to just straight up try and head back. Well, I'll leave. Well, actually, no. I want to meditate again, like for a couple of hours
Okay.
before I leave the trading post.
One of
Try
the other Freyin, Mr. Landul, who are these individuals in chains in our hold?
apparently they're what we get for our goods. I'll hand this. I guess he's a cargo worker, someone in charge of the cargo area. The bit of paper that sort of says who the slaves are supposed to go to. Apparently, they need to get to these people.
Well, this man is. He doesn't even continue his sentence, but he looks quite unhappy about this situation. But
I'm
you are,
unhappy as well.
the big shot who's there to help save the business here, so he's not going to.
Don't do anything with them yet. I need to think about this.
Okay.
I'm kind of quite obviously quite like I'm not enthused about this situation either. Like I don't want him to get the impression that I'm all chirpy with the slaves being delivered and don't have a problem with it, because I do. Yes. But yeah, I'll leave him there. I'm sort of heading off to think and meditate on what's just happened.
You may do so.
Yeah, I will. So now I have to roll. I'm not even going to bother trying to add that, because that's not going to be high enough.
Okay, so clearly this this isn't your first rodeo. you know, in this moment now, what this seemingly decent situation that was offered to you by the Kalfar, what it actually, who it actually ends up benefiting, and what has just happened here, and it does not sit right with you at all, so much so that you are unable to find the peace of your people, unfortunately.
Well, with that, I'm still, it still doesn't, it's not right, and so I'll get up and basically I'm going to try and I'll march out of the trading company, and I'm sort of heading towards the place where I met Akala the first time. I want to try and meet her again. So I don't know if you want to
Sure.
cut back the other guys or
As
something
you,
while I'm
as you
storming
leave,
towards
the somber singing of a voice that sounds oh so similar to May's, but ever more sad and dejected. That strange trilling voice that only a such a tiny mouth can make. But you if you wish to travel back to her manor, you may. So.
Yeah, I do. I don't. I don't actually expect to achieve much, but I'm quite. I want her to know that I'm unhappy, even though I'm sure she already does.
Perhaps not.
Yes.
You arrive there, and it is still the early afternoon, and there is much activity afoot. But you, how long did you meditate for, or did you attempt to meditate for?
I think it's 2 hours is how long on
No,
average.
yeah. I wasn't sure if you stuck around for incidental things afterwards. So only a couple hours.
Yeah.
So you arrive, and you actually see a fair number of the goods that were taken from your business, sort of parked, as it were, by this her building, waiting to be unloaded, or for the wagon to be loaded up with more things. You're not sure, but you go up to the place that is staffed almost exclusively with darklings, a fact that even being in this city so heavily populated by their kind after many chains is not any more easy for you to take. But it is what it is. You find her in the foyer, the atrium area of this place, chatting with another Kalfar, a man who was a bit sort of heavy set, which is seems to be something that's unusual, based on the Kalfar you have met. So many of them seem to be, quite physically fit. But he is all the more ostentatious. Not that he is seems to be of a particularly higher station than she is, but he seems to be wearing his opulence in a far more gaudy fashion than she does, or you do, for that matter. Um, as she concludes her business, she smiles gregariously at you.
Hmm. I don't smile. uh,
Ah,
well,
my dear Frayne friend, how good it is to see you again. It's been
Carla,
some time. I was worried we would not have the opportunity to speak again, and gave me much distress. I'm glad to see I was mistaken.
right. Uh, I'm here about the cargo you delivered to us earlier this morning.
Oh yes, I did tell you that cooperating with me would bring you great amounts of trade, did I not?
Indeed, you did, and so far you have been has been true to your word. However,
I'm always true to my word.
of course, uh, however, uh, you should know that for one, we are not equipped to handle slaves at our facilities in the city, and even if we were, I'm afraid that the Freya Zig Zalimazda does not deal in such things.
You will recall last time we spoke, I mentioned something about fitting yourself to your client base,
Indeed.
adapting to your location. I believe I rather correctly identified that as a significant failing of your people's abilities to date.
Hmm. Indeed, you did.
I have no doubt that you are quite capable. You will be able to handle them. They won't be staying with you for long. I've already taken care of where they are going and who they are going to. The amounts have already been agreed upon. All you have to do is drop them off.
That's. I am slightly confused as to why you need us to do this at all. Surely you have other people who are better equipped for this sort of task.
Perhaps, but it is good to go through a third party sometimes when acquiring one's goods. I have been generous with you enough to share and extend my what is the word? What is the word in this tongue?
Hospitality, maybe?
Sure, we'll go with that. But my success and my protection and my contacts with you, it has and it will benefit you, but do not be mistaken as to think it will only benefit you. That's not good business, is it?
Obviously not. However, I do have to tell you that in future we won't be able to accept any more shipments of slaves.
What
But
again,
we're more
good
than
Sir
happy to.
Frayne, were you sent to this city to do for your beloved people?
You know exactly what I was sent here to do.
Has operating in the stagnant and short-sighted ways of your kind helped you so far? You see people buying reed ships and fruits.
I see people buying our fine quality textiles and fabrics.
True. But that alone will not get you very far. You have to compound your assets with even greater assets.
As
If
I
you
said, I'm happy to continue doing business with you.
are-
However, I'm afraid in the future you'll have to send something other than slaves. Even just straight coins would be more than satisfactory.
Why should I be listening to what you have to say in the matter?
I assume that you want to continue to receive these finished goods of the highest quality.
Offer me a viable alternative.
This is the same situation as we have now, simply without the slaves. You are merely providing a different commodity.
Such as?
What else have you got? Perhaps some sort of metalworks, jewelry, perhaps. Do you have anything?
I have heard through the grapevine, as it were, that you have been looking into establishing business dealings with your desert brethren.
Yes, I was afraid I was interrupted before I managed to make any progress on that front.
Well, you still have time. They likely will not be here still for some time yet, if it's anything like the last several occasions.
Yes, I've heard that they are somewhat infrequent in their visits.
That would be a market that I have not yet been able to partake of yet. And unfortunately, that is something which you might have something of an upper hand in.
Well,
Our
I'm
peoples
sure
do not care for one another, as we've established many times already.
Indeed. Well, I think
If
this is
you
perhaps something that I can help you with.
maybe, if you can actually back up your intentions and your well wishes and your hopes with actual profits and actual gains, then maybe.
Well,
Right now,
that
that's
remains.
the only thing I can think of that is a unique offer you can grant me. So, the way I see it, until you can provide me with tangible evidence that you can offer me something new, I see no reason to change a tried and true business venture.
Well, I'm sure I can look into these desert train for you, but I'm afraid I have to repeat again. No more slaves. They won't be accepted at the trade house. But I will look into these freeing for both our sakes. I guess with that, unless she has anything else to say.
She mulls it over for a moment. Very well. Until
Excellent.
their tribe or band, I don't know what you call them, until they show up again. That is acceptable. I trust you understand the benefits and the gravity of the situation, and I'm sure you will work your hardest to make contact with these people and to succeed where so many others have been unsuccessful.
Of course.
Once you are, we will both reap those benefits.
Indeed. Well, pleasure doing business with you. with that, I'll sort of leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll start heading back to the
Okay.
trade house.
So, you may head back to your place of business. Your guests, as it were, being sort of placed awkwardly in other rooms. Some of the many rooms you have in the trade house, just as were offered to your short-time companions. It makes for a somewhat interesting and strange arrangement. That is all the more awkward because while these slaves are indeed slaves and are shackled and chained and no doubt have some idea of where they're headed, they're also being given lodgings and treated with some modicum of decency just by virtue of the accommodations they're being given, which in a weird way makes it like so much more uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For everybody involved. But you are left to contemplate what to do with these people. You know exactly where to drop them off. If you wish to be rid of them as quickly as possible, or
that's pretty much what I want to do. I just want to get rid of them.
Okay.
So we don't really have the, as I said, we don't have the facilities, the people really for dealing with slaves.
It's true.
I guess. Do we have a wagon? I guess similar to the one that they were delivered in.
You have a wagon, not one that is. Once the cover was taken off of it, there was, it's clear there was like an iron cage, topping the wagon. You don't have that because you don't have a need for it, but you do have wagons large enough to transport these people. But it is reaching dusk as you make it back to this to your place of business, and whatever.
No. In that case, I will. I'll wait till. Oh, I don't want to head out in the night with a bunch of slaves. It doesn't seem like.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
you may do that, and you contemplate throughout the evening the situation you
Yes.
find yourself in. With your holding far less goods than you thought, and now your actual building is filled up with strangers and slaves. But
Yes. Thanks, Akala.
but with that, we will shift back to Hunrei and Nay, who this evening, this night, as the purple and pink signs of dusk and of twilight descend beneath the horizon, and the twin moons begin to rise above the cityscape, shine down upon the desert. The both of you are called by Vasun, breaking from your studies and your training. A change in the routine, as it were.
Yes. Have we been given living quarters within this
Yes.
covenant? Or this, I don't know, hidden occult library, hidden den?
Yes. The accommodations, such as it were, are more. They're communal. They're not like bunk beds or something. But there are side rooms that are arranged like alcoves, carved into the rock of this place. And there is like a veil rather than a door separating your kind of like vestibule rooms from the more common residential area. It's small and it's sparse. It's not like a prison cell, but it's by virtue of what it is and where it is, it's
Yeah.
you have what you need to continue your tutelage.
Yeah, well, only to note, I have not been wearing my rhinoceros hide armor while I've been studying here, not seeing any use for armor in
Yeah.
this place of study. So, honestly, the only thing I have been wearing has been my bone necklace and maybe carrying around my tome as such.
Right.
So, I don't know, Varsoon calls for us as we sit in our chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps there's some hay to sleep on, or maybe sand would be more appropriate in this place in the world. And some form of bench where we can sit and talk, table to write down things, as probably Nay stands on the table as I point towards scriptures in my book, and we go through words again.
But I remember the song. I remember pronunciation.
And then Varsoon comes in.
Forgive me for interrupting, but I bring joyous news to you both. I wish to speak with you elsewhere. Come.
Looking towards him and saying with almost no diplomacy,
Will there be need for armor and blade?
Not yet, but soon.
nod, and I walk out.
As we're walking out, I say to Hunrei, in Thuban, as I have not yet mastered the Thraxa. I've gotten sort of basic words and sentence structure down, but conversationally, I always default to Thuban. Maybe we go back to the surface. I'm feeling a little bit sick in this place. I haven't seen the sky in chains. I'm a person of open sky and fresh air. This place stinks.
But probably the thing that would stink most for you in this room would be probably the meat I would gather occasionally, like, vagrants and cats and other things. To me, they're just normal smells. Don't really understand what you mean.
It's
Not
stale
really
air.
paying attention to that. As you say, then I just keep walking out, following Vasun.
So,
And he slithers out into a down a winding corridor to another side room that has been carved out of this place, and there is a kind of ovoid table, low table in this place, and there are large circular rugs of which you've noticed, time here the Typhon are fond of using in lieu of chairs, since they obviously cannot sit in them. But there are two Typhons in this room on the far side of the table that you have not recognized before. Their markings are both of them are green and yellow, but of a different hue than the others of the same coloration you have seen. The scale coloration is darker, almost as if like the yellow is kind of like a burnt yellow, and the green being a sort of darkened forest green coloration on both of these snake people. And Vasun slithers in and takes up one of the rugs, and bows his head in the inimicable fashion of Typhons, and beckons you to approach and join the table, or join around the table, I should say.
Yeah, I sit down. Again, also not a species very comfortable with chairs because of our big
Okay.
alligator tail. So I sit down upon the rug, legs crossed, and I look for whoever is about to start speaking.
You have both, and Vasun speaks to you. You have both learned much and shown dedication since having been brought to us. Our mistress has seen fit to send 2 of her daughters to bear witness to the both of you. It has been agreed you are both true initiates and are ready for
Such obvious.
Yeah.
I am Hunari Sumela, and this is Nay. Greatness is our destiny. Perfection is our path.
And you are being given your first opportunity to prove it, to revel in your newfound knowledge, to grasp greater things. You have seen the briefest, the quickest of glimpses of what knowledge we share here. And you have seen that we have enemies who wish to take that from us. Alas, the enforcers and their ilk are not the only ones who would see our power, that is our right, taken from us. Other wielders of mystical arts who make their haven in this place, this new port. But they are not as we are. They are twisted. They defile these gifts which we have uncovered from the depths of time, the depths of the sands. They would see such power be stifled. They would see that the greatness, as you say, that is the destiny of each and every one of us, be denied. There is another coven, you might say, of magi.
If they are blind to might, I will take it from them and add to me, add to
Good.
us.
They ingratiate themselves with that of the service far more than we do. They hide their natures and lie to those who would not suspect, so that they might go undetected. But we have eyes and senses to find them. And when we do not suffer their continued existences, for they would do likewise to us.
This is quite confusing to me. It sounds like another magi cult is being described to me. One
Mhm.
quite similar to this one. Why are they not friends? If they had common goals and purposes, surely. Well,
No,
why do we not work together against the enforcers of slavery?
because they believe that magic, that the mystic powers, these gifts, are not one's right to be used for one's own gain and advancement. They would see such knowledge be wasted, to go unused. They do not believe in perfection of the self as your friend does, and you have likewise expressed.
They hoard this might, but refuse its usage. They refuse it.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around what he's trying to say because it's almost completely incompatible in my mind. Why wouldn't you use it? You have magic. Why wouldn't you use it?
They hide behind superstition and ancient prejudice, cripple themselves in so doing. Those they teach learn but a crippled version of the truths we share freely here.
That doesn't sound like you'll have anything to add to yourself, Hunrei.
Nah, they sound blind and incompetent. Gefunden.
And again, I use that insult word in Arimanian to describe my frustration with this new group of worthless things.
If they cannot see might, I will take it. I will look upon what they have, and then judge.
Yes. As I say, they lie and they hoard what could be used for their own benefit and for their own strength. But they choose not to. And it is that choice, that willful ignorance and alignment to foolish superstition that is perhaps the most offensive to my mind. But this is not the only reason we must seek their kind out, for in their blind obedience to these foolish ways, they see all others as a threat to all others who likewise practice such arts to be a threat and an abomination in their eyes. They see those who would seek to improve themselves above all others as aberrations and as wicked. But is not the attitude to blind oneself willingly far more wicked? Or, yes, It is abhorrent and offensive.
They sound like mindless creatures. It's a wonder they're able to learn anything.
Mm, they do, even though their understandings are warped and twisted. The power behind the misread truths that they wield is still a great and fearsome power. It is our desire to uncover these secrets, uncover this power, that it might be the full breadth of its truth be revealed and shared amongst us all. They are adherents to the old ways of the trolls.
Troll.
I am I look quite uncomfortable at what's being said. It sounds like, in my mind, that we're just being asked to rob, like the same way like you would ask someone to rob a store
Right.
for having something you want. It just sounds like we're being asked to rob another magi cult because they have some knowledge that we want.
What?
And so I'm looking quite uncomfortable because,
Okay.
especially because Hoonray seems so sold on the idea.
Just-
But I look, and you would probably notice that it's probably one of the few times you've seen me look very uncomfortable, Hoonray.
I just want to see. You're clearly not hiding that discomfort. I
No,
guess.
and it's probably like not so much I guess a quizzical like frown, like a puzzled sort of frown on my face, like eyebrows and.
Nay. If you would give me an insight roll, and you will have to tell me what it is, because unfortunately my camera has frozen again. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that, but
Well, I always roll this straight on. Like the first one has to be rolled in. And then insight is enlightenment based. Okay, that's a big roll, and that's a 21.
okay. All right. So you you know that Vasun knows that you are uncomfortable, and he turns and looks at you directly, and as if he is trying to convince you and allay your make you understand the truths of his words. It may seem confusing to you, small one, but you have only just yet stepped into this wider world of greater knowledge. But I will tell you this, so that it might allay your concerns and soothe your conscience that you are doing the right thing. For I have said to you both that these magi are not only an abomination unto themselves, but are liars unto those who they hide amongst. This Magi, whose name we have uncovered through our secret ways and through the power that is our right. This one consorts with slavers, a man upon the surface who makes his place of business not far from that circle of shame known as Leknero. He is a Cyclops who performs duties of a numbers keeper for a man named Durzan, a Kalfar.
A slaver? Why did you say so earlier? And there's like an immediate change of thought, but it was also I had a thought of correcting, myself. Like there is so much to see in this world that I don't know of, and quite often my gut instincts are completely wrong. For instance, at first arriving here, I placed great trust in that Freyin, just because his skin was bright, and I'd had positive experiences with Freyin before, and I sort of trusted him, and that whole place we stayed in, which looked so nice and comfortable, and yet the first thing that happened was he betrayed us. And did nothing to protect us from the slavers who would seek to put us in chains. So I sort of realized that even when things and then I sort of thought back to that vision that Hunrei shared with me. If I didn't know him, I probably would see that as something sinister, but having shared and spoken so much to Hunrei and knowing and knowing about his sort of quest for perfection and also his personal war against the slavers, I know that he is a good person, and so that is sort of combating any sort of hesitation or doubts I have about the morality of this thing, and so that confused, almost upset look I had is now changed, and I'm calm and even eager. Will we be seeing the surface again, Vassoon? I do not know the word, but I'm starting to feel ill in this place. The air is stale and there is no sky. I feel like it's almost suffocating.
And his lips stretch back in that creepy snake smile that is the only, I guess, smile he seems capable of producing, and slithers up to you ever so slightly, and sort of slinks down a little bit to get his face more onto your level. Yes. Have no fear. I understand the feelings and sensation you describe. You will soon meet the sky again. and you will see that your time spent apart from it in learning what you have learned will make you appreciate it far more than you would have otherwise. All these things we do are for a purpose. You will soon come to understand, as I did many, many cycles ago, that the first truths, the surface truths, are so often illusions. Illusions at best, lies at worst. It is only
Yes, nay, take strength from the esoterical truths and knowledges we have learned here, and let the moons guide you. For the King of Freedom, and that which is perfect will not give aid unless you are worth it, unless you prove yourself worth it. Show strength, conviction, and then shadows and moonlight will come to aid.
I understand. But surely there is also strength in compassion, aiding another, bringing someone, helping someone when they are hurt or in a poor place, because and in that strength, that is like your trade, Hunrei. By helping them when they are down, they will strive to help you in return in future. It's she's sort of thinking.
I look at you like I have never ever heard the word compassion. It probably doesn't
Dill.
even exist in my dialect of Thuban.
Dill, for example, my brother. He was not always my brother. One day, my parents brought him in to the family. He was just a young ogre then. Still very big, about half the size he is now. But he had nothing. And my family took him in, and my father especially raised him and taught him everything he knew to this day. If it wasn't for that act of helping him that my parents did, well, I would not be here today. I would have been taken by the slavers, or I would have perished long before on this journey.
I look at the direction where I think Dill is, and from what I have seen of this red brute, whatever your father taught him, it wasn't much. Like, I am at the moment thoroughly unimpressed by that red creature.
Your father sounds quite wise, for he has done as we are doing. Have we not brought you in and made you both kindred, family?
Again, they use that word family, which probably I've never heard before in my version of Thuban. But I look upon them and...
Yes, you took us in and gave us esoterical texts and knowledge and instruction.
Hmm.
That was part of our trade. And now, for my end, I will make murder and take bone from this cyclop.
Yes, obviously, I will play my part, and I'm grateful for this knowledge you've taught us. And I have no problems with working against that of a slaver. I just wanted to make sure that we were no worse than they are, which I see we obviously are not.
Indeed.
Just because someone has something that we want, that is not reason in itself to end their life and take it from them. Surely we can always add to this family, and willingly they might add their knowledge. But this is obviously not the case with this, and
Of course. And we will always share and provide aid to those who are amongst this family, just as how you would not give hospitality to those that inflicted such pain upon your family. All that those many chains ago, as you have regaled us with, so too would we not think to provide aid or compassion to those who have inflicted likewise pain amongst us or to us.
well, now that that's been decided upon and agreed upon, rather, I look quite eager.
We will make ourselves ready. I shall collect armor and my blade, and then you will give me his scent. This creature's scent and position. It's grotto. We shall go.
Go ahead.
No, you go, because mine's to Hunrei, so
Okay.
I can say that when we go back to prepare.
Make yourselves ready, and I will share unto you the knowledge that we have gleaned of this magi. Prepare yourselves, for it will be no small task to bring low this creature.
I kind of, but only kind of, look upon Vasun like, don't you know who I am? And walk out. I'm Hunrei Sumelra, I can kill anything.
Just asking, Nay, for the first time in her life, I've sort of had the access to, like, I guess, what paints or inks or dyes and brushes in this place, and
Copious amounts.
And my own
being a creative and inquisitive young sprite, I've definitely dabbled in that. I was just asking you, would there be sort of like white and also black dyes or inks or colors?
Oh, I have several varieties of specifically black dyes and inks. Some you
Well,
don't want to use.
This
Yes.
getting prepared. This I sort of feel like that's a state of mind, and you know, like I don't have any weapons to prepare or anything like that. So I think, oh, what do I need to do to get ready? And I think more and say, maybe with all this writing that we've been doing and practicing language, I think, you know, a demonstration of what I've learned is probably what's best, and then I know what I want to draw upon myself, but self art it is probably beyond me, and so I turn to Hunrei and Hunrei, would you be able to draw some praise to the King of Freedom upon me, and in return I will draw upon you?
I kind of look upon you, draw, and
Like,
I look at my claws, which I mostly use when I decorate myself, because you can see on my person that there are a few, what should I say, places I have repeatedly scarred myself and added some dyes of some colors. Most of them have, as of now, faded out, but I can do that because I have such thick hide that it doesn't really hurt me. So
well,
just
I'm holding the brush. I thought a
Yes.
moon on each cheek, and
I can mark you.
the
I
word.
will use feather, not claw. You could not take claw.
No, obviously. Thank you. Yeah, maybe a moon on each cheek. Uh, uh, I can't remember the freedom in Arimanian across my thing. Arimaxo Axnathrax on one arm, which is my song will continue, and then
Yes.
Perfection's Grace on my other arm.
It will
that
be
is-
done.
That will be the name of my song.
so, like, not nodding, but speaking in agreement. But yes, I will do this. Almost thinking to myself, the Shadow King likes me now. I am bringing more people in.
Excellent.
And probably as maybe this is a good place to quit off because Adrian has to leave. So as I start
I got
painting,
25. I got 25 minutes.
so as I start painting upon Nay, we can go to soliloquies.
Yeah,
If
we'll
that's fit.
we'll do that, and Vosoon will give you a brief description of who this person is, and then we can go to soliloquies, and I think that'll be I think
Hmm.
jive pretty well with when Adrian you have to leave.
Hmm.
So, yep. What is Nay drawing upon the hardened scales of Hunrei?
So I just basically communicated that only drawing upon my skills would not be enough because it's a cultural thing to scar yourself in, this among the Sirushi. So first I cut on myself with my claws, and then I put paint and pigment in the fairly superficial wounds. On me, they're superficial and kind of not damaging, but on anyone else, that would probably be quite vicious.
Mhm.
So if Nay has the stomach for it, she can add some paint and powder into my tiny rips and tears on my scales.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
she has the stomach for it though.
I don't know, I've seen you eat. I've seen Dill eat. I've seen you rip the throat out of that guy in the marketplace.
More likely, I
Yeah.
bit his face off.
Yeah, bit his face off. That was,
Got
You've
some
seen
brains
some
on my
things.
teeth.
I've seen my mother shot down in the sky before me and my family taken chains. This is an emotionally hardened brave young sprout.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Well,
So we can add that to descriptions when we begin next time.
Okay.
How we
Okay.
look.
yeah.
So, you are garb yourself in your war paint, as it were. Hunrei, you don your rhinoceros armor and equip your cannibal sword and invigorate yourselves for the hunt to come.
I will reveal what little we know. This one we leave. How you choose to approach and how you choose to do the deed to your own discretion and cunning. As I said, this one makes a hidden life near the Lecnero market in a small adjoining district known amongst the Kalfar as the Drag. Buildings are built into a small gully that emerges from the Lecnero. Although this, of course, is a secret amongst those who know him, but this Cyclops, is a chronomancer of some skill, or so we believe. One who is versed in the arts of Nathraxu. Beware his tricks. This one is powerful, but not. But the two of you will be a match for him. You are worthy, and you are ready.
And with that, we may do soliloquies for those who wish to partake.
Mm-hmm. Yes. As I listen to this, I nod for. I will do my prep as Vorsoon describes this character to me, this creature to me. So I draw my claws across my gator-like face, drawing some blood there.
More enemies gather. Yes. Fools, these Cyclops. I will take the esoteric horde and I will add it to me. bestowed upon me, I will not disappoint. Yes, it will be added to me. Nay, she will make a good addition to your faith. Yes, my king. Power shall be ours. From those too ignorant to notice, born of she they all are. Pawns of she. They will fall before me, before us.
I am ready. At least that's what Vastoon tells me. Ready for what? Murder? To kill another? Start thinking. I have nothing to offer in the realm of combat, and what I've managed to learn so far is some words in Thraxa and a slight and more words in Thraxa and the ability to speak it poorly. I am ready to leave this place for a moment, to see the surface again, to look upon the sky and the moons and smell the fresh air. That is something I'm definitely ready for. I'm ready to once again look for my family and seek new things. I will not resist or try to talk Hunrei out of killing this Cyclops. For working with slavers, that's a death sentence in my opinion. But as to ready to help him, I do not know what I can offer. I think to an old one of my first promises to learn the song sung by the demon in the temple. Now I've actually seen and heard that song. That haunting resonance it produced within me that I initially repelled from before, after listening for some time, hearing the, I guess, enchanting beauty that was sort of underneath that demon sung in a voice that I'm not sure that I could reproduce. My mother, I mean, she may have been able to, but my voice is not yet matured. Part of that, like the words of that song, I'm sure I'll be able to learn. But I'm not sure that the power of that song was in the words. It was in the way that creature, that indescribable creature. It was in the way it sang the song. That was the beauty of it, not in the words. I've made so many promises. I start to think that they are going to be difficult to uphold. Though, in the space of just a couple of chains, we've already met and joined and become initiates in a magi cult, which was one of the promises. So many things to learn. This world, this city is a very dangerous place, I'm starting to believe. It seems many people want to either kill you or enslave you. Very dangerous indeed. One thought for the Frayne who betrayed us. I sort of pity him. Looking at Hunrei, his vicious claws, the ease in which he scratches himself, self-wounding himself as art. Those claws, those same markings would tear me apart. And I sort of imagine Hunrei clawing Landel to death over a previous trespass, and I pity Landel and think, what is he doing now? What is he doing now? I hope for him, for his sake, that he doesn't cross paths with Hunrei again, for I do not wish to see the Bright One die, but I fear that will happen should that event come to pass. And that'll be my closing. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just yet again sitting, as I do pretty much every night in the city, sitting in my my room with my my ledger, filling out the day's numbers and stuff. But yeah, I am very. I wouldn't say. I'm unhappy with. Yeah, I'm not at ease with having these slaves in the in my trading house, well, in the company's trading house. As I said before, our company doesn't deal in slaves, and obviously Freyines don't deal in slaves. I'm thinking about what I should do. I'm sort of torn between because as like a Freyine, I think I should like just set them free, but then as like a business person, if I do that, then that's quite a lot of our it's like our several cycles or several chains worth of money down the drain. But I'm sort of thinking, I'm trying to think of ways I can potentially, yeah, still get some of my money back or get something out of it without selling these people into slavery so much. And that's sort of what I'm pondering as the night. And I do as well. Again, I would say I would think of this at least once, most nights as well. Think of my companions when I first arrived, and how Hunrei basically just started all of this trouble and made my job that much harder. But it has so far actually worked out. I've met Akala, otherwise I would have spent who knows how long searching this city and having no idea, like, even about who was sort of running the show in terms of trade in the city, which seems like now at least I know that, even if she does seem to be using me. But again, I share Nay's opinions that I don't want to meet Hunrei again, simply because of how much trouble he caused me the first time. Obviously I don't realize that he's very angry at me. I sort of just I just don't want to deal with him again because of how much trouble he caused the first time. And again, Nay is I feel sorry for her. She's stuck with these what I can only imagine are like barbarian thugs in the form of Hunrei and his friends, and surely she can't be enjoying her time with them if she's still alive at all. And yeah, those are the things I think about.
Okay. And with that, we will bring this session to a close with much things to do for session 5 right off the get-go, which is very good. So, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again for session 5.